In just a few weeks' time, on January the 28th, 2022, the 21-22 Formula E season will kick off from the Riyadh Street Circuit in Diriyah, Saudi Arabia. From then, the racing bursts into life once again in the electronic class. A few things have changed this year compared to the 2020-2021 season, and we go through all of the changes with you as we look ahead to the upcoming year in Formula E. Teams and lineups. As far as the teams and lineups are concerned, a lot has changed compared to last season. Audi and BMW have already left the sport as constructors, although they will remain in the picture as suppliers of powertrains this year. Mercedes is currently on the eve of its last season in the electric class, although we cannot rule out the possibility that the team will restart with new owners. Envision Virgin Racing will be called Envision Racing for next season, while Jaguar Racing has been renamed Jaguar TCS Racing. It is also important to note that this is also the last season that the Gen 2 cars will be driven, because 2022 to 2023 they will switch to the Gen 3s. René Rast, Alex Lynn and Tom Blomqvist have already announced that they will not return to the electronic class. Former IndyCar driver Oliver Askew, and former Formula 2 driver Dan Tickham, and Formula F1 driver Antonio Giovinazzi will all join the grid for this year. In addition, a lot of drivers have also changed teams. For example, Oliver Rowland, Maximilian Gunther and Lucas Di Grassi have all moved to new outfits. The Formula E calendar, 2021 to 2022. The new calendar for this year consists of 16 races that will be held on 10 different circuits. Just like last year, the season will kick off with 2 races in Saudi Arabia. Then they will travel to Mexico for the third round of the season. The Mexico E-Prix was temporarily moved to Puebla in 2021, but again, it will be held back in Mexico City this year. Then it's time for a double header in Rome, followed by the always special Monaco E-Prix. Then the racing will head to Berlin on the 14th and 15th of May before the circus travels to Indonesia a month later. In July, they will cross the ocean for a single race in Vancouver and 2 in New York City. Then it's time for a double header in London and the double season finale in Seoul, South Korea. So, as I say, it all kicks off on January the 28th with 2 races on the 28th and 29th in Saudi Arabia. Then we have the Mexico City E-Prix, followed by back-to-back races in Rome in Italy in April on the 9th and 10th. At the end of April, we head to Monaco before on the 14th and 15th of May we're in Berlin in Germany, before June the 4th sees the series moving to Indonesia and Jakarta. July the 2nd, we have Vancouver, with July 16th and 17th, the double races in New York. July 30th and 31st brings us the London races, and August 13th and 14th are the grand finales in South Korea. Qualification changes. In recent seasons, the qualifying format in Formula E has been criticised quite a lot. In the electronic class, track evolution, with the extent to which the track develops during the session, plays a major role. To ensure that the championship would remain as exciting as possible, the drivers had to go out in order of standing in the championship. As a result, the drivers at the top of the standings usually qualified a lot worse than the drivers in the rear, which made the title fight very difficult. After a storm of criticism, they have now decided to completely change the qualifying format. Starting from this coming season, the drivers will be divided into 2 groups prior to qualifying. Group A will consist of the drivers who are in the odd places in the standings, and Group B will be made up of those in the even places. Now, both groups have 12 minutes to set the most competitive time possible, although the first timed round must be on the clock within the first 6 minutes. The drivers may complete as many laps as they wish during this phase. Now, the 4 best drivers of both groups may proceed to the duel phase. The number 5 to 12 are classified based on their lap times. The matches consist of 4 quarterfinals, 2 semi-finals and 1 final. It kind of becomes like a playoff format. The drivers get 1 warm-up lap, 1 time lap and 1 cool-down lap. The duels during the quarterfinals are determined by where the drivers have finished in the group stage. So for instance, fourth in Group B will take on first in Group A, third in B will take on second in A, third in A will take on second in B, and fourth in A will take on first in B. And those will be ranked as quarterfinals A, B, C and D respectively. After that, the winners of the quarterfinal A and quarterfinal B will face each other in the semi-finals, as will the winners of quarterfinal C and quarterfinal D. The winners of these can then compete for the pole position, and the pole sitter receives 3 extra points in the championship. Yeah, I mean, it's getting complicated, but it might be exciting, and it really might pay off. What can we expect? Nick de Vries managed to seize the Formula E world title during the last race of last season. The Dutchman had a fantastic campaign and has really been able to prove himself in the sport. Together with the Mercedes team, he will undoubtedly do everything he can to defend the drivers' and constructors' title, especially since Mercedes will be pulling the plug from its Formula E activities at the end of the year, and of course they will want to leave on a high. Robin Frins is also back as usual. He has extended his contract with Virgin Racing for a year, so it promises to be an exciting campaign, at least for fans of a Dutch persuasion. What we have seen in recent seasons is that there has never really been a real dominance of one particular team in Formula E. In fact, during the last race weekend in 2021, a large number of drivers were still able to make a world title bid. However, that could well change in 2022. On paper, the new qualifying format should ensure that the class becomes a lot fairer and that the drivers at the front also have a normal chance to take pole position. This makes it possible that we will have a good idea of who are the real favourites for the championship a little earlier in the season. However, it remains to be seen whether this will turn out to be the case when we actually get on track. We can look forward, of course, to the Formula E debut of Antonio Giovinazzi, who will be missed from Formula 1, but will be looking to prove himself in the electronic class. In addition, the E-Prix of Seoul and the E-Prix of Jakarta and the E-Prix of Vancouver are all on the calendar for the first time this year, causing a big challenge for the teams and some amazing settings and backdrops for the drivers and teams to race in. In addition, some popular races return with the likes of Monaco and the London E-Prix. In short, there is a lot to get into this year in Formula E, and as I say, it all kicks off at the end of this month. Are you going to be paying any attention at all to the electronic series? Let us know in the comments section below as always, and remember to hit subscribe to stay up to date with everything that we do here at GP Fans.